Today is day 26 of 2026, and today is the Republic Day of India. It's a day that we all wish each other a happy Republic Day, but sometimes I really question whether we should say a happy Republic Day or not. Because looking at the state of the country, I clearly do not feel like it's a happy day. Rather, it feels like a day of grief, remembering the day we actually got our rights, and today we're not able to exercise those rights even though they're listed in the book. When India got liberated, we were not free, and there were no documentation of the rights that we hold as citizens of this country. But great thing is, scholars who were part of this constitution formation, I would say they really thought critically when they were listing out the rights, because of which we got the right to express ourselves. We also got the right to question. We also got the right to give our opinions and hold the government accountable for the things that they are doing. But in today's day and time, I don't think that we are able to exercise our rights in the same way that we should have been able to. I start by taking the example of caste injustice that existed in India, where the untouchables were made to sit outside, from the other students, and Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar stood up for them. And when he was forming the constitution, also he made sure that he gave them privileges to account for the previous past injustice that was done to them. And that reform didn't come easily. He did face opposition. When you speak up for those oppressed, you will be hated. When you are not with the majority, if he had also been part of the majority, although he also belonged himself to the oppressed group, he stood up for it. If he had also just believed that this is how it is and I cannot do anything about it, there would be no conflict and this thing would have never happened. Also, if it was someone say that he was in a majority, that he belonged to the group of students and who were privileged enough to sit inside the classroom, and he had a friend that was basically belonged to the untouchable, and that he was not able to sit inside a class. Now, if this one person just thinks of himself, keeps the good peace which he already has, the privilege which he's getting, if he wants to keep that, he would rather have to shut up and let things be the way they are. But if he wants to help his friend, if he wants to change the system, at some point in time when he grows up, he has to fight for him so that this injustice doesn't happen. So you have to stand up for someone else, not for your own benefit. And when you stand up for someone else, keeping aside your own privileges, I think that's what our constitution teaches us. To live in unity, fight for equality, because it's a democratic country. The day it no longer is, I think the constitution is invalidated. The constitution did get updated very much time to time for new reforms because there were things that needed to be updated, and it reached to a pretty much stable level. But now it's been a mess. Exercising our right to speech, expression, and opinion is not the same as before. And people who are enjoying the benefits I'm not sure how long you are going to enjoy the benefits. Maybe if you'll never speak up for others, I think you will. Because understand that you are not a nice person just because most of the majority accepts you. It's basically you are socially acceptable, that you're going with the norm. But there is a minority that also exists which despises people like you because they are oppressed and you are indirectly the oppressor or a collaborator of the oppressor. And this just doesn't apply to like society dynamics. It also applies to power dynamics, I would say, where there's an authority figure and there's a person who's subordinate and there are other subordinates also with him. But this person does psychophony, which is basically like chamchagiri, which is in Hindi we say, or we say chamchus. So these chamchus that exist, these people get privileges because they will keep quiet and they will never raise questions on the person who is doing wrong. Like if the authority figure does something wrong, okay, they will not be able to hold the authority figure accountable because they are too scared and they are too afraid to lose the privileges. Also, I would say I realized that if the authority figure does something bad to one of the subordinates and the subordinate files a complaint against the authority figure, they would rather be in favor of the authority and would say that, well, like, why did you do this? Like, basically the victim is responsible for what happened. Like, they should have kept quiet about it. It's okay to know about it theoretically that these things exist, but the moment you see it, your own people doing it, and when they feel like they are not doing anything wrong about it, it's what hurts more. I know that most people they can get away with it. Like, they don't need justice, they don't need equality, they don't need to stand up for anything. Like, they can make peace with the things the way they are. But I cannot. Because as a young kid, when I was just 12 or 13, a person who was understanding about equality, equity, read books on it, trying to understand the society, questioning about it. You need to understand that I was driven to change the world. And not everyone wants to change the world. They're not born like they don't discuss like I want to change the world. It was a drive within me, and it hurts me more than anything. So when I see these things, I get more hurt. And it affects me more than most people it affects. Because I cannot let things slide. I don't have an option. Maybe you do. But I really want the country to improve. Because I did not have hope on the way the country is running, I really did not make my election card. I have the right to vote, but I do not want to. Because I feel that it's manipulated. I do not really have a choice, and it's like the outcomes are already like predetermined. It feels less like democracy and more like, I don't know, dictatorship maybe. So this Republic Day, let us remember to rethink our behaviors. If you are one of those who's doing those chamchagri things, please stop it. It may be benefiting you, but it is at the same time harming someone at the same time. So with that, I would say let's create a better India, not just in form of tech and revolution, but also in their mindset, in their thinking, in their mentality. With that, I end day 26 of 2026.